Hey guys, today's Saturday, June the 3rd of 2023, and I want to go over natural gas. So without any further delay, let's get into it. I want to show you a few things I'm noticing. And on the monthly simple glance chart, you see that the monthly is indicating some weakness into the future. However, the MACD looks like there's a bottoming and it looks like it wants to go positive on the monthly. This is big picture. You can see that we just kind of straddling around here on the value area low, which is like 185. We haven't gone that low yet, but very close. Below the moving averages, which is not great, but this is the big picture monthly. This is the big slam they gave us, but this is a great opportunity to get your toes wet because it's not going to remain here forever. It'll eventually go up. So if you have a long time frame investment, then maybe this could pay off well. In regards to the weekly, we're in chop fest, chop mode. Chop mode means you're in the mobile bands, which is going to be noisy, a lot of noise back and forth until we break 211. If we close below 211, it's going to look ugly because we might test 194. But so far is in there. You can see the Hekanashi's candles negative, but the trend is still intact unless we break 212, 211. Below the 20 SMA, so that's not good. Looks like there's going to be maybe a crossover in the MACD. It hasn't done that yet, kind of like a little hockey stick. You can see last week's volume was very negative, although 2 weeks ago it looks like it was very low, but still negative. Market sentiment is kind of bottoming out. So that's where we're at. We're kind of in this range right now and see what's going to happen. And on the daily, you can see market sentiment is getting positive. However, the MACD is negative. You can see the volume. We back below the 20, below the 50, kind of hovering around point of control, which is 219. And the linear regression channel right here will be a support if it ever gets to do a flush. I won't be surprised if they do a little capitulation, trap some bears, and then pop it if that's something that could play out for this week or in this month. However, we know that June and July are very, very weak, kind of on the low side. So we'll see how that's going to play out. A good positive note is the linear regression channel is pointing up. So if we're going to start oscillating here, this would be a good place to maybe dip your toes in and, maybe ride it up and kind of oscillate and get out of this cloud on the short term. Because you're pretty much low at the bottom of the barrel where, if you want to get exposure, this is probably the best place. I mean, how low is it going to go? Is it going to go to zero? It's a commodity. Come on, guys. We're not going to stay on the zero or at the $1 or $2 forever. It's more of a time frame thing until it pops up. And then when it gets out of the cloud, you're going to be happy. Let's look at the market profile. Let's look at the weekly. As you can see, point of control on the weekly chart was 259. We got all the way up to like 268 and then kind of retreated back. But looking at the market profile, you can see that the volume, there's a lot of support here. So that support comes in between like 189 all the way to like you could say 209. So if we ever dip in there, there's going to be a lot of support, as you can see in these wicks, where price action was kind of holding and the bulls came and held it and supported it up. See, volume is not pretty good, but we look at the daily market profile. You can see that we broke this support that we had right here. We're below the anchored VWAPs. And these little blue things here, these trend lines, these are measured moves. And this is a measured move from this move here. And I was thinking that was going to go higher, but we pushed even lower. So I have it here now on this candle to see if this is going to hold for a measured move and maybe for a target up here around 271. So we'll see. This line right here is the June 12 cycle low. So we have a weekly cycle that is bottoming out, and you could give it a little wiggle room. It's somewhere between 6.6 and 6.12. So once we get in here in that ballpark, maybe probabilities are high that maybe it starts turning here. That's the only thing positive for natural gas is that this weekly cycle will lift us up. But that's not promised or guaranteed. So we're just having our fingers crossed and see what happens if this cycle does come into a play. But we have our enemy, which is the seasonality, which I'll be showing you soon. That indicates that chances are we might probably be here for a little, longer here between June and July. But we'll see. This is the battles of the technicals. Let's see if I could get that up. As you can see, using a 20-year, You can see that June and July are very negative, just kind of more on the lower side. So we could be stuck here for a while, for 2 months, and then kind of, maybe bounce back up. So if you have a long term, if you want to stick some pain like I am and be in the kitchen with the fire cooking and blasting everywhere, then you'll stick here between June and July, and then we'll ride this wave up into August, September, and October, where the sun is going to shine and you're going to be nice and happy. Let's go into the commitments of traders report. And as you can see, commitments of trader report, commercial are still selling. They're unwinding. So that's good. That's positive. That's catalyst for natural gas to possibly maybe start turning up. As you can see, commercial was a 106, 170. They're buying as of May 29th. Large speculators are buying. Commercial are hedging. They're unwinding. So that's pretty positive. Let's go into our, what do I call it, my mind map. And as you can see, things have changed. Daily sentiment is still positive. Weekly's kind of flattening out. Monthly's kind of flattening out. And what's changed here on the daily with the Elliott wave, which I'm going to be showing you some clips. You can see and take some notes there. I'm going to be playing that on the next clip. The weekly has been the same. That's been the same. This is the most positive catalyst we have right now, is this weekly cycle bottoming between the 6th and the 12th. I believe this hasn't changed. And the dates now that I have for June will be the June 24th on the monthly between the 8 August 23rd, 2022 high price and time. The monthly will hit 10:02. So this is a date I'll be having at my eyes. As of right now, I haven't really done deeper digging on Gann dates, but this is the one that popped up. Trend is still down. Commitments of traders report pushing lower. This is the one I'm eyeing, the 59,679 May 30th low. If we continue pushing lower, large speculators are going to be buying, and we just have to wait for natural gas to start making higher highs and higher lows. But so far, it hasn't happened. This is the date that we just took out, so I made it yellow. So this is higher. We got to look at some, not dates, but this is the level in regards to direction where they're going. We just took that out. So this is large speculators are pushing and buying, while prices are just kind of going sideways to lower. And I haven't really adjusted this, but that's it for this chart. Let's go back over here. So we're going to look at our, Elliott wave clip and then our market geometry, and then we'll come back and do the calendar, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys, so this is our Elliott wave chart, and you can see this is the monthly. You can see that we're still in an ABC correction. You can see the Stokes down here are starting to just kind of flatten. We go to the weekly, and there was a wave 4 projection target of 321. We never got to hit it. It is also a $4 one, and we're on a wave 3, 1, 2, 3. Still sideways in the mobile bands chop, and the Stokes just crossed over. Once we go to the daily, it gets a little more interesting. We just hit a wave. We're in a wave 5 from March the 29th. We did an ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now pulled back below the mobile band. So it's very, very weak. It's on the weaker side. Could we get one of these little things here and then bounce right back in there? That could happen. We got July the 12th, /6, where things, the weekly cycles bottom. See, the Stokes is still negative. If we do our Fibonacci, you can see that we went as high as 268, pierced the 61.8% Fibonacci level, retraced the back, took out the 50, took out 382, went below 225, not kind of hovering there. And if we put, some of our Gann stuff here, you can see that the linear regression channel, we're already below it. This targets to the downside. If it goes down 202 all the way to 197, so it pretty much is going to test this low if this is going to continue pushing lower. Dates you want to keep an eye on is June 8th right here, and June 8th. Yep. June 8th and June 6th, using the ellipse techniques. This, you could give it a little wiggle room between June 6th, June 7 or 5th. It's going to get very volatile there with the ellipse technique. But so far, this is what we have. in regards to the Elliott wave chart. Okay, so this is our geometry chart I'm using for nat gas. You guys are probably familiar with this. Using our Gann squaring the range from this low of, what is it, 144 to the high, 1002. You can see that we're coming into what I call vectors. Is a date you want to watch would be pretty much, I think it's the 8th, somewhere around there. At the 8th, yep, June 8th. Keep an eye on that. Could be maybe a possible, turning point coming in. We know June 12th, so that week could be very interesting. If it could do a capitulation and then bounce back up. So you just got to be aware of all these little nuances that could happen, these traps. So keep an eye on that. As you can see, we failed right here. We couldn't stay above it. Then the next support would be all the way down to the 144-ish. Using the Gann fan, you can see that pivoting from this low here, we kissed this angle and then failed. Never got to even close to 45. Right here, if we go into, let's see, as I zoom in, see, this is the 45 right here, and we pierced it and then pushed right back. Couldn't even hold this angle, and now we're below it from this low right here. So meaning that it's on the weaker side. So the bears have more control than the bulls in regards to the geometry of the Gann fan. So it's telling you where price action is. And we're below, 45 in the 1x2. So that's not good. Let's see what else I got here. Then squaring the range from this high to this current low, we're entering what I call a vector. This is the 1/8. And that's going to be, that's already hit. That was Friday. So it's going to be interesting now to see what happens Monday. If this is a flush to the downside or it's a turning point. We know this is support right here, this 199. And this is all open air right here. Probably potentially go test 296, but this is where we're at right now in regards to the geometry chart. Okay, now we're back to our levels chart, which I call the midpoint chart. Main support would be on the yearly, would be the 204. On the monthly, you can see that we lost the 235, which is the midpoint, and there's a midpoint from last month, which was the 223, which could be resistance, but so far we're below both of these, so that's not good. Support for this month would be 203, and then last month's support would be 194. So that's, that's the last line of defense right here. Looking at the weekly, if we can regain 229 and close above it and push higher, your targets to the upside would be 244 all the way to 252 and 260 for the whole week. Now, if we hit that and fail, even though trading day says we're going up, if we can't close above that, chances are it's going to either go sideways or push lower to find support at 213. And for the week, support or targets to the downside would be 205 all the way to 198. 198 is the last line. If it flushes below that, then that's extreme. Looking at the daily for Monday, if we could close above 219 for scalpers, 223 obviously your high, and 226 and the extended will be 238. If you go all the way up there trading for Monday, that's where we'll probably lock profits if you're scalping, because that's the highest pivot right there. If we're going to go lower, 214. If that fails, 211 and then 209 for Monday only. This is for Monday only. This is for the whole week, all the pivots and targets to the upside and to the downside. Lastly, will be the square of 9. So where are we at? We are 214. I said we're in 194s in the lineup of 214. We found support at 213, and we're kind of oscillating here. If it's going to go up, targets be 218 to 225. So we're going to oscillate here. But if we're going to push lower, it could go all the way down to 204, 180 degree, and then all the way to pretty much 197, 198, 99, this area right here. Could oscillate, could flush down. Even in 190, 94, it tests that low. Anywhere between right here to test this area. And if the bulls show up and find support, it'll bounce back up. Some other technique that I've never discussed here. We're already somewhere around the 283. That was June. So I have my eye for 6-8, June the 8th. That's a 285 right here. It lines up with the 41. So it'll be interesting. And also this number right here is interesting too, the 10th. It kind of lines up with the price that we did on the August 23rd. So there's a lot of what I call clusters lining up here, 41 and 10. So I wanted to see where we at right here from 285 to 289. I'm not saying this is price. This is more of this other technique that Gann used. So I'm just kind of seeing how this is going to play out. But overall, this is where we at. These are the levels. So we're going to probably be oscillating around here. Once we could get out of 225, then, we go to 233 and then move on upward. But if we can't close above 225, we're going to be stuck here and even here. So this is like your shape of where price action could be oscillating back and forth. If we break 194, then from here, it could get ugly. Because then you're going back, you're going down to like pretty much, where was the low? 144? Where's that at? My eyes. 144 right here. I mean, I doubt we're going to go all the way down there, but you never know. But you got 194, you got the 144. So yes, if this is going to be support, this is going to be your area right here. You got a couple of pivots here that will help you, like a cluster. 199, 144, and 194. But if we break below 190, then it's not looking good. Well, I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you liked this video. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. I know there's pros and cons to this. If you're a long-term investor, if you want to hold on and endure pain like all of us, then you'll just kind of hang in there because, the sun is going to shine one day. And it's going to be in the next maybe couple of months. But so far, the only positive thing for us bulls in this sector is that the weekly cycle will give us a boost and maybe things will change. We already know that large speculators are long and, commercial are hedging. So that's a positive note. But price action has really confirmed that. So just kind of hang in there, stick in there. If you want to just wait till things start moving and start going higher and then nibble in, that's fine too. That's a good strategy also. Well, have a great weekend, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on natural gas.